Hello and welcome to another exam paper walkthrough. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be looking at GCSE Maths and I'm going to be doing an Edexcel predicted topic paper. This is slightly different from the one I released a couple of weeks ago. This is a shadow version of that paper. So I've taken that predicted topic paper, which I outline why and how all those questions came about in quite a bit of detail. What I've done is a shadow version. So what I've done is just rearrange the numbers in some of the questions just to give you a chance to have another go at a very, very similar paper. This is a copy of the shadow paper. To go a bit further on that, to make a slightly easier paper, I've also done what's called a problem pair paper. So to do that, what I've done is I've combined the work solutions from my original predicted topic paper and the questions from the shadow paper to create a paper where you've got the work solutions on one side and then the new fresh questions on the other side, just to make that a bit more straightforward for you. Um, the, in the description to this video, you'll find a link to the Google Drive where you can download either or both of those papers, whichever one's going to suit you better. I'd strongly recommend you have a go at the paper before you watch the video, or do it alongside the video if you want to, just to get the most out of the video. Again, this is preparation for the June 25 paper 1, and this is foundation. If you find this video useful, please do subscribe if you like, and if you turn notifications on, you'll get a ping every time I release any paper 2 or paper 3 predicted material. I'd also recommend a bit of music on in the background just to get the most out of the video and make the time pass a little bit easier. As I record the videos or as I do any exam papers, to be fair, I always have a bit of music on in the background just because that makes it a little bit more enjoyable for me. So I'd recommend that if you haven't got some on in the background already. Okay, so here's the paper and we will start. So question 1. PQI is a straight line. Work out the size of angle X. So the way that we need to do it is we need to add up the two known angles first of all, and then we'll take them away from 180. So I'm going to start 94 plus 37. And that's going to give me 4 plus 7 is 11. And then we've got 13 there. So 131 are the known angles. So we're going to then do 180 minus 131, which is going to give us 49. Okay, question 2. The pictogram shows information about the number of pictures sold in an art shop in each of January. In each of January, so I've messed up there. In each of January, February, and March. There we go. That was a comma. Right, write down the number of pictures sold in January. Okay, so for this, the crucial bit of information is that each picture represents 12 pictures. So each pictogram picture represents 12 pictures. So in January, there were 3 lots. So it was going to be 3 times by 12, which is going to give us 36. So 36. 30 pictures were sold in April. Show this information on a pictogram. Okay, so we need to do 30 divided by 12. So 6 is going to both those numbers. So 6 will go 5 times into 30 and twice into 12, so it's going to be 2.5. So we want to draw 2.5 of these pictures. So in effect, the same as what we've got for March. And then try and make it similar to the pictures already shown there. If I had a ruler, I would take a bit more time and just draw that a little bit more neatly. Part C, what is the total number of pictures sold for these 4 months? So the total, I could work out the total for each month and then add them together. I'm going to do it in terms of the pictograms though. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 full squares. So that's going to be 10 times by 12 because each picture represents 12. And then we've got 1, 2, 3 half pictures. So that's 1.5 lots of 12 for the halves. So 120 would be 10 times by 12, and then 1.5 lots of 12 is going to be 12 plus 6, which is going to be 18. So my total is going to be 138 pictures. Okay, question 13. Work out 13 times by 37. So I'm going to use column multiplication. I have a habit, and just because I think it's easier, I always put my larger number on top. So 7 times by 3 is going to give me 21. Carry the 1. And I misspoke and wrote there at the same time. Is 21, carried a 2. 3 times by 3 is going to give us 9, plus the other 2 is going to give us 11. Then we put 0 in our units column and times them by 1. Then we add those two numbers together, so 1 plus 0 is 1, 1 plus 7 is 8, and then 1 plus 3 is 4. So I'm looking at 481 there. Question 4. Work out the difference in minutes between 1 hour and 55 minutes and 2 1/3 hours. So I'm going to convert these both into minutes. The first value is already in minutes, so I'm going to say that 2 1/3 hours is going to be equal to 2 hours, and a third of an hour is 20 minutes. So I want the difference between these two values, 1 hour and 55 and 2 hours and 20. I'm going to do this using the chunking method, just because I think this is quite useful. So I'm going to say I'm going to start with an hour and 59 minutes. What do I need to add on to get up to 2 hours and 20 minutes? And I'm going to say, well, if I jump from 1 hour 55 to 2 hours, that's a jump of 5 minutes. Then if I go from 2 hours to 2 hours and 20 minutes, that's a jump of 20 minutes. So in total, I've jumped 5 plus 20, 25 minutes. Question 5. Here's a list of ingredients for 20 biscuits. Harry wants to make 50 biscuits. How much flour does he need? So for this, I'm going to work out how many batches of 20 I've got. So 50 divided by 20 is 2.5. So I want 2.5 lots of 2.5 lots of 250 grams of flour. So I want to do 2.5 times by 250. I'm going to say that 2 times by 250 is going to be equal to 500, and a half of 250 is going to be 125. So to find 2.5, I need to add those two together. So that's going to give me 625 grams. So 625 grams. Question 6. Here are 4 numbers, -9, -2, 2 and 9. Write one of each number in the box to make the calculation correct. Blank times blank equals blank times blank. Well, this is relying on us knowing that 2 negative multiplied together will give us a positive. And we've actually got quite a lot of options here. So we could have, I'll start with -2 minus 9 times by 2 and 9. And I could flip those around in any way I wanted. I could also have -2 times by 9 is equal to -9 times by 2. And that gives us lots of different options. And then we can have those in any combination. So essentially, as long as we've got a 2 and a 9 in the first box, whether that's positive or negative, absolutely work. Okay, question 7, write as a percentage. So percentages are out of 100. So to make this as straightforward as I can, I'm going to convert it to a fraction over 100. So times by 25 there. So that would give me 75 out of 100, meaning it's 75%. Question 8. Given that y is equal to 5x minus 7, find the value of y when x is equal to 6. So, a bit of substitution here. Y is going to be equal to 5 times by 6 minus 7, which would give us 30 minus 7, which would give us 23. So, 23. Question 9. Here is a list of numbers. Work out the range. So the range, I need the largest, and then I'm going to subtract the smallest. So I'm doing 15 minus 4, which means my range is 11. Question 10. A computer randomly selects one letter from the following list. Write down the mode of this data. So the mode is the most common, so which one happens the most? So that's looking like A. So A is the mode because A happens the most. But B, on a probability scale from 0 to 1, mark of across the probability that the chosen letter is an A. Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 A's, so the probability of A is going to be equal to 4 out of the number of letters, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 out of 8, which is equivalent to a half. So my cross will go at a half. Find the probability that the letter is a D. So probability of a D is going to be equal to the number of D's out of 8. So let's have a look. We have got 2 D's. So it would be 2 out of 8, which is equivalent to 1 out of 4, although it doesn't say in simplest form. So I'm simplifying it though. 1 out of 4. Question 11. William has 50 pets. Out of these, 35 are dogs and the remainders are cats. Among the dogs, 20 have brown hair and 17 have white. Among the cats, 8 are brown. Use this information to complete the two-way table. Right, so I'm going to do this in layers. My first layer is just putting the information from the question into the table. So 50 total, 35 dogs. Among the dogs, 20 are brown, 15 are white. So 20 and 15. Among the cats, 8 are brown. Okay, so that's all the information from the question. So my second stage is just one-step calculations using these blue numbers. So I can say 50 minus 35 would give me 15. And I can also do this total for brown animals as 28. And then my third stage is where I need to use the blue and the red numbers to calculate the other number. So the first one I'll do is this one. So 15 minus 8 would be 7. And then this final one becomes my checking value as well. So I can do this two ways. 15 plus 7 should be 22. And then also 50 minus 28 gives you 22. So we've got it kind of doubled up there. So we can be we can be certain that we filled our table in right. Okay, part B. If a pet is chosen at random, so that's telling you the denominator is out of 50. What is the probability it is a white cat? So we have got 7 white cats, so it's going to be 7 out of 50. Right, question 12. Write 3 out of 50 as a decimal. So again, I'm going to convert this to being a fraction out of 100. And to do that, I'm just times them by 2, so that would be 6. 6 out of 100 then is going to be 0.06. And if we're converting to decimals, it's always useful to have a power of 10 as your denominator. Right, question 13. There are only blue cubes, red cubes, yellow cubes in a box. The table shows the probability of taking at random a blue cube from the box, 2/5. The number of red cubes in the box is the same as the number of yellow cubes in the box, so these would be equal. Complete the table. So the first thing I'm going to say is I need to the probability of red or yellow is going to be 1 minus the 2/5, so that's going to be 3/5. So the probability of red or yellow, so the probability of red, let's say, is going to be half of that. So we'll do this 3/5 divided by 2. So that's going to become 3 out of 10. So those will both be 3 out of 10. And there are 16 blue cubes in the bag. Work out the probability, the total number of, work out the total number of cubes in the box. Right, so I'm going to use a little ratio table here for probability and the numbers. So probability is 2/5, and that is equivalent to 16. So I'm going to say then that 1/5 is going to be equal to half of that. So the full amount would be 8 times 5, which would be 40. Okay, question 14. The bar chart shows information about the total rainfall each month for 4 months in a city. So we've got January, February, March, April, May and June are missing at the moment. Total rainfall in centimetres. In May, the total rainfall was 40 centimetres. In June, the total rainfall was 25 centimetres. Use this information to complete the bar chart. Okay, so you should use a ruler, obviously because I'm writing on a screen, I'm not going to be using a ruler, but we're going 40 centimetres for May, so we need the same gap between all of them, so we need to, this is going to be where our bar will be, and we need to go up to 40, so that's going to be my bar. No marks or no real relevance for shading that in, so I'm just going to leave it like that. And then June 25. So same, I need to leave the same gap. In a perfect world, there'd be an extra square here, but there's no issue with there not being. So there we go. That's my bar for June. Rupert says in March there was 30.5 centimeters of rainfall because the bar is half a square above the 30. Explain why Rupert is wrong. So their argument is that the gap between those two squares for a square is 1, but the gap between the square is 5. So the y-axis for the y-axis each square represents 5. So on y-axis each square represents 5, not 1. So half a square is 2.5, not 0.5. Okay, question 15, work out 4 plus 6 times 5. So this is checking out understanding of BIDMAS. So brackets first, indices, division and multiplication in the order that they appear, addition and subtraction in the order that they appear. So we're going to be doing our multiplication first here. So that's going to become 4 plus 30, which is going to become 34. Question 16. So looks like a transformation. Rotate shape A 90 degrees clockwise about the point minus 1, 0. So I'm going to start by marking my point on. So minus 1, 0 is going to be this point here. And we want to do a 90 degrees clockwise. So we're going in that direction. If I look at the actual picture and imagine rotating that 90 degrees clockwise, the orientation is going to end up looking like that. That makes sense. So I need to work out where I'm only going to look at a point and then I'm going to draw that orientation. So currently that point in relation to the center of rotation is 3 squares above and 1 square to the left. So it's going to go 3 squares to the right and 1 square up. So that point would go there, and then we've already discussed the orientation. So that's going to be our 90 degrees clockwise rotation about the point minus 1, 0. At this point, I'm sure that everyone is okay with that, but at this point, if you're in an exam, I would be asking for tracing paper to check your answer. So tracing paper can be really useful and you're all entitled to it, so ask for tracing paper to check your answer. Right, question 17. Given that n is equal to 3p plus 4q, find n when p is equal to 4 and q is equal to minus 3. So again, a bit of substitution here. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So n is going to be equal to 3 lots of p, so 3 times 4, minus 4 lots of q. And whenever I substitute a negative number, I like to put it into a bracket. I'll include my multiplication sign. So multiplied by minus 3, and I should have had a plus there, not a minus. Right, so 3 times 4 is 12, and then 4 times minus 3 is going to be minus 12, and then 12 minus 12 is 0. So 0 would be our value. Part B, expand. So I'm going to include my construction lines in a different color just because it's going to slightly overlap the question above. So 2z times 5z times 2z would give us 10z squared. And then 5z times minus 3 would give us minus 15z. And we can't simplify that because the terms have different powers. So that's just 10z squared minus 15z. And part C, solve. So you've got two options here. You could expand the bracket and then solve, or alternatively, instead of multiplying out by 4 first of all, what I would do is, as a bit of a shortcut to that, I'd divide both sides by 4. So that's another way of getting rid of the 4 times. So that would leave me with k minus 7 is equal to 3. I'm then going to add 7 on both sides, and that would give me k is equal to 10. So solve k is equal to 10. That's my fault, bit of formatting issue there. There shouldn't be an M there. Okay, question 15, solve m plus 7 is equal to 4. So this time I'm going to be minusing 7 from both sides to start with. So minus 7 there, minus 7 there. That's going to give me m is equal to minus 3. And then again, I've messed up here. That should be a little less. So solve 5s plus s is equal to 25 plus s. I guess I should tidy that side up first of all. Is equal to 25 plus s. And then minus s from both sides. Minus s from both sides would give us 5s is equal to 25. And I could have taken a shortcut and just said I can cancel the s's here and here. Right, final step then, divide both sides by s, and that gives us divide both sides by 5, and there's not much of a difference between my s's and my 5s, but will be, so 25 divided by 5 would give you 5, so s should be equal to 5. 3 didn't carry down. Okay, question 19. The diagram shows a triangle and a rectangle. The perimeter of the rectangle is a third of the perimeter of the triangle. Work out the length of the rectangle. So we've got information. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is work out the perimeter of the triangle. So I'm going to do 36 plus 30 plus 14. Right, so 6 plus 4 is 10. And then 6, 7, 8. So the perimeter of the triangle is 80. Perimeter of the rectangle is a third the perimeter of the triangle. Okay, so I need to do that divided by 3. So 80 divided by 3 is going to be equal to the perimeter of that, which is going to be equal to a half of the length. So I'm going to call it x for now, x times 5. Okay, so if I times both sides by 2, that's going to give me 160 over 3 is equal to 5 lots of x. Then if I divide both sides by 5, that's going to give me 160 divided by 15 is equal to x. And then I want to simplify that as much as I can. So 5s will go into both these numbers. 5s will go 32 times into 160, 3 times into 15. Then I'm going to say that 32 divided by 3 is going to be equal to 10 and 2/3. So I'm going to say x is equal to 10 and 2/3. Question 20. Write the fraction 18 out of 24 in its simplest form. So both those numbers are going to have sixes in common. So if I divide the top and bottom by 6, that's going to give me 3 out of 24 divided by 6 is going to give me 4. So I'm looking at 3 over 4. Question 21. Ellen leaves her house at 8:15 a.m. to walk to the library and arrives at 9 a.m. She walks at an average speed of 3 miles per hour. Calculate the distance in miles Helen walks to the library. So the time frame between 8:15 and 9 a.m. is 45 minutes, but I'm going to call it 3/4 of an hour. She's walking at 3 miles per hour. So the way I'm going to do this is a bit of a ratio table. If I go for distance and time, she's going at 3 miles per hour, that means 3 miles in 1 hour. And she walked for 3/4 of an hour. So we want to actually get to 3/4 of an hour. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to say that in a quarter of an hour, she would have walked 3/4. If I want to get from there to there, I'm times it by 3. So that's going to be 9 over 4. And then 4 will go into 9 fully twice with 1 left over. So we're looking at 2¼ miles. After arriving at 9 a.m., Helen spends 40 minutes at the library before walking home at the same speed. She took an hour and 3/4. She took an hour and 3/4 hours to walk home. At what time does she get home? Right. So we want to find out how long it's going to take her to get home. Right. So she left the library then at 9 a.m. plus 40. So she left the library at 9:40. We want to add on an hour and 3/4. So 3/4 of an hour is going to be 45 minutes. So I'm going to add on 1 hour first of all. So that would be 10:40. Then I'm going to add on 45 minutes. So that would be 11:25. Sorry, not 25. So 11:25. And I need to add that's AM. Right, question 22. The stem and leaf diagram below shows the time in minutes taken by 12 runners in a race. Okay, find the median. So the median is going to be the middle value. So if I've got 12 runners, I could top and tail these. I prefer to do it this way though. Divided by 2 is going to be 6.5. So I'm after the 6th and the 7th value. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7th value. So I need to find the number that's halfway between 58 and 60. So that's going to be 59. And again, like I said, I could have top and tailed them. So if I top and tail in order, you can see that I'm left with those two as well. Right, find the range. So the range is going to be the largest value, which is 74, minus the smallest value, which is 45. So the range is going to be equal to, is that 29? Yeah, 29. Okay, part C. In a similar race for 12 swimmers, in a similar race for 12 swimmers has a median time of 50 minutes. Compare the performance of the runners to that of the swimmers. So the swimmers had a faster median time. The swimmers. So I'm going to rephrase that ever so slightly. I'm going to say taking the median. Taking the median. The swimmers. So I've not spelled swimmers right. And a faster okay. Okay, question 23. Here are a triangle and a rectangle. We've got a triangle that is 9 by 8, and we've got a rectangle that is 16 by, we're going to call it x. The area of the rectangle to the area of the triangle is 3 to 8. Now, a bit of a confession. When I initially wrote this question, I've got these two ratios the wrong way around. So I've made this, this is actually a slightly harder question than I intended. But that's okay, we'll work it through. So first of all, we're going to start off with the area of the triangle. So the area of the triangle is going to be equal to a half of the base times height. So a half of 8 times by 9, which is going to give you 4 times 9, which will give you 36. Right. If that is a ratio of 3 to 8, the triangle is the 8th part. So each part is going to be worth 36 divided by 8. And 36 divided by 8, well, 8 is going to 36 fully 4 times with 4 left over, so it's 4.5. Right, so that's what one part of the ratio would be worth. We want 3 parts, so we're going to do 3 times by 4.5, which is going to give us, well, 3 times 4 is going to give you 12, and then 3 times a half is going to give you 1.5, so that's 13.5. So 13.5 is going to be the area of the rectangle. So 13.5 is going to be equal to 16 times by x. Right, so if I convert this into being a fraction, improper fraction, just to help me out a little bit here. So that's going to be 13 times by 2 is 26, plus 1 is 27. So that's 27 over 2. Is equal to 16x. So I need to divide both sides by 16. So that's going to give me 27 over 32 is equal to x. So x is going to be equal to 27 over 32. And again, that ended up being a bit more complicated than I first intended because I'd actually got my triangle and rectangle ratio the wrong way around when I wrote the question. So apologies for that. Right, question 24. Find the highest common factor of 48 and 60. So to do that, I'm going to break these down into their prime factors. So 48 is going to be 2 times by 24, which is going to be 2 times by 12, which is going to be 2 times by 6, which is going to be 2 times by 3. If I do the same for 60, that's going to be 2 times 30, which is going to be 2 times 15, which is going to be 3 times by 5. So the highest common factor is going to be found by factors that they have in common. So they both have a 2 in common, another 2 in common, and a 3 in common. So the highest common factor is going to be 2 times 2 times 3, which is going to be 6 times 2, which is going to be 12. Okay, question 25. We've got on the grid, reflect the shape in the mirror line. So we're going to do this kind of point to point. So we're going to start with this point here. This is currently 1 square away from the mirror line. So we go 1 square the other side. This is 3 squares away. So we go 3 the other side. This point here is 3 away. So we go 3 the other side. This point here is 2 away. So we go 2 the other side. This point here is 1 away. So we go 1. Oh, I've miscounted there. Let's do that again. So this point here is 2 away from the mirror line, so 2 away from the mirror line, and then this point here is 1 away, so 1 away. So that's going to be my reflection there. Okay, write down the equation of the mirror line. So the mirror line is this vertical line here, so that is the equation where x is equal to minus 1. Question 26, right? 204 is a product of its prime factors, so we're going to do a factor tree for 204. For any factor tree, I always recommend taking out the lowest factors first of all, because it helps for our final step. So we've got 2 and 104, we've got 2 and 51, which is 3 and 17. So that's going to be 2 squared times by 3 times by 17. Right, find the highest common factor of 204 and 170. So we've already got the factor tree for 204. We need to do it for 170 now. So 170, which is going to be 2 and 85, which is going to be 5 and 17. So the highest common factor is going to be 2 times by 17, which is going to be 34. Question 27. In a village, the number of houses and the number of flats are in the ratio of 8 to 3. The number of flats and the number of bungalows are in the ratio of 9 to 4. There are 80 bungalows in the village. How many houses are there in the village? Right, so let's start with H to F. H to F to B. So H to F is 8 to 3. And then F to B is 9 to 4. We've got a total of 80 here, and we want to work out H. So the first thing I'm going to do is to combine the ratios. To combine the ratios, I need to times the top, if I call them ratio 1 and ratio 2. I'm going to times ratio 2 by 3 to make it a 9 in the flat part. So if I do 8 times by 3, that would give me 24 to 9 to 4. Now we can combine them. Get from there to there, I'm timesing by 20. So I'm going to have to times by 20 there as well, which would give me 480. So 480. Okay, question 28. Work out an estimate for 9.8 times by 5.3 divided by. So I'm going to say that's approximately equal to, and I'm going to round each of these numbers to one significant figure. So 9.8 becomes 10, and then 5.3 becomes 5, and then 0.53 becomes 0.5. So that's equal to 50 divided by 0.5, which is 100. Okay, question 29. Amy and Josh use a calculator to work out 9.8 times by 5.2 squared, all divided by 2.5. Amy's answer is 10.599 and blah. Josh's answer is 105.99 blah, blah. Work out the value. One of these answers is correct. Use approximations to find out which of the answers is correct. So we're going to say that this is approximately equal to 10 times by 5 squared divided by 3, roughly. 2.5 would arguably be easier, but that's fine. So that's going to be 10 times by 25, which is going to be 250. And then 250 divided by 3. And you can see why 2.5 would be easier here. And I always say you round to one significant figure unless it's easier to go more accurate. So arguably here it would be easier to do 2.5 because 250 divided by 2.5 would be 100. If we go a little bit further though, so that's going to be approximately equal to, and I'll stick with this because that's the method that I've shown most people. 250 divided by 3 is going to be equal to, well, 25 divided by 3 is equal to, 3 is going to 24 fully, 8 times. So if we carry this on and imagine that we've got a 0 there, with 1 left over, and then that's going to be 9 1/3. So we're looking at 89 1/3. We made a slight mistake there. That was 83 1/3. Not that it particularly matters. It must be this answer because 10.59968 is far too small. So one of these answers is correct. His answer is correct, Josh. Josh's answer. Okay, question 30. So we've got find the coordinates of the midpoint. So the coordinates of the midpoint, we can do this by drawing it. I'm going to do it slightly differently, and I'm just going to write the 2 coordinates down. So A is at -2, 4, and then B is at 4 -2. So the midpoint is going to be add the 2 coordinates together and divide by 2. So that would be that they would add together to make 2. So that would be 1, and then also this would be 1. So the midpoint should be at 1 1. So we're looking there. And does that look true from the diagram? So if we go 3 across and 3 down, 3 across and 3 down, yeah, it does work. So that would be 1 1. Right, question 31. Diagram shows the plan of a floor. Petra is going to cover the floor with paint. Petra has 5 tins of paint. There are 1.5 litres of paint in each tin. Petra thinks 1 litre will cover 10 meters squared of flooring. Assuming Petra is correct, does she have enough paint to cover the floor? You must show all your working. Right, so we're going to split this shape into 2 rectangles. If I call it A1 and A2. So the area of A1 is going to be equal to 6 times 7, which is going to give us 42. And the area of shape 2 is, well, if this length here is 12, and then we've already covered 6 here, this length here must be 6. So it must be 6 times by 4, so that must be 24. So our total area, I'm going to call it AT, is going to be equal to 42 plus 24, which is going to give us 66 meters squared. Right, she's got 5 tins. So each tin contains 1.5 litres, and each litre will cover 10 meters squared. So I'm going to do 5 times by 1.5. Find out how much times by 10. So that's going to be the same as 5 times by 15. Which is going to give us 75 meters squared. So does she have enough tin? Yes. 9 litres spare. So yes, 66 meters squared is less than 75 meters squared. So actually 1 litre of paint will cover 11 meters squared of floor. Does this affect your answer? No, it does not affect my answer. No. She will have even more paint. She will have even more paint. Right, question 32. V is equal to u plus at. U is equal to 4, a is equal to minus 8, and t is equal to a quarter. Work out the value of v. So v is going to be equal to 4 plus minus 8 times by 1/4. So that's going to be equal to 4, and then 8 times by 1/4 would be 2. So minus 2, so v would be equal to 2. Okay, question 33. In a group of 40 students, it is revealed that 18 play archery, 12 play basketball, 8 play both sports, and some play neither. Complete the Venn diagram for this information. Okay, so 8 play both sports, so that means that we can put an 8 in the center. Then if 18 in total play archery, but 8 have already been accounted for, that must mean that we've got a 10 there. And then if 12 play basketball, but we've already counted for 8, then 4 must go there. So in total, we've accounted for 22 students, which means that we've got 40 on. We've got a total of 40. So 40 minus 22 is 18. So we've got 18 outside. Okay, find the probability that the number is in the set B dashed. So B dashed means not in B. So we have got 10 plus 18, so we've got 28 out of 40. And then we can simplify that, although it doesn't ask for it. So we can simplify down by, let's go for 4 first of all. So that would be 7 out of 10. Yeah, we'll go 7 out of 10. Okay, question 34. Work out the value of 9.84 divided by 12. Okay, so I'm going to say that 9.84 divided by 0.12 is going to be the equivalent to 984 divided by 12. So that's the sum that I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm okay with my 12 times table, but I'm not great. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to divide both of these by 2 just to start, make things a bit more straightforward. So 492 divided by 6. I think we could do it by 3, but I'm actually going to do that division now. So 6 is into 492. So 6's go into 48. 49 fully 8 times with 1 left over, and then 6 is going to 12 fully twice, so we're looking at 82. So 82. Okay, question 25. A pattern is made from 4 identical squares. The sides of the square are parallel to the axes. Point A is at the point 49, point B is at the point 3638, point C is marked on the diagram. Work out the coordinates of C. Right, so the way I'm going to do this is I am kind of going to, if I call it X by X for now. So we've actually got 4 lots of X. So I'm going to work at, between this point and this point. So I'm going to start by looking at my X coordinate and seeing what the difference is. So I'm going to say 36 minus 4, and then I'm going to share that between 4. So that's going to be 32 over 4, which is going to give us 8, meaning that each side of the rectangle should be 8. So C's coordinate is going to be 4 plus lots of X. So that's going to be 4 4 plus 16. So if we look at the x-coordinate first of all, the x-coordinate is going to be 4 plus 16, so that's going to be 20. Now, the y-coordinate is not slap bang in the middle of these two coordinates, but what it is 2 lots of x below the y-coordinate. So I'm going to say that the y-coordinate is going to be equal to 38 minus 2 lots of 8, so 38 minus 16, which is going to give us 22. So we're looking at the coordinate 20, 22. Okay, question 36. Work at 2/5 of 65. So 2/6 of 65. The way I'm going to do this is 65 times by 2/5. And I could do the 65 times by 2 first. However, I'm actually going to treat it as that. So 65 divided by 5 is going to be 13. So 13 times by 2 is going to give us 26. Fiona has to work out the exact value of 72 divided by 1/3. She writes 72 divided by 1/3 is equal to 24. Fiona's reasoning is there are 3/3 in 1, so there will be 24 in 72. Explain what Fiona has. What is wrong with Fiona's reason? Three thirds in 1 would mean that you're timesing by 3, not dividing by 3. So 3/3 in 1. So 72 times 3/3 in 72, not 72 divided by 3. Okay, question 37. 3 red marbles have a mean weight of 10 grams. 4 blue marbles have a mean weight of 15 grams. 2 green marbles each weigh 12 grams. Ella claims the overall average weight of all the marbles is 13 grams. Is Ella correct? You must show your working. So I'm going to look at the total weight of 3 red marbles. So that would be 3 times by 10, which would be 30. 4 blue marbles would be 4 times 15, which would be 60 grams. And then 2 times 2 times by 12 is going to be 24. So that's the total weight of, if I add these together, 90, 114 grams. Right, now I could divide that by 9. Alternatively, to make this slightly easier for me, what I'm going to say is 13 times by 9 is going to be 90 plus 27 is going to be 127 grams. And then that's going to be my comparable figure. So overall, the average weight of the marbles is less than 13 grams. So is she correct? Yes. 114 grams is less than 127 grams. Okay, question 38. This diagram shows triangle AOB. Angle AOB is not R. So this is my fault. Is not, that should say not a right angle. So I've just checked with my original version and it should say not an obtuse. Hopefully you work that out from the either the problem pair or the original. Find the greatest value of x, so it's got to be less than 90 degrees. So 20 plus 2x minus 5 plus x plus 15 has to be less than 90 degrees. Right, so that's going to give us 3x plus 30 has to be less than 90. Minus 30 from both sides, 3x has to be less than 60. So divide both sides by 3, x has to be less than 30. And again, technically, it's got to be less than or equal to 90. So I'm going to say 30. Right, question 39. Freddie measures the length of a car as 3.42, correct, 2 decimal places. Complete the error interval. So it's been rounded to 3.42 as opposed to 3.41 or 3.43. So the minimum value is going to be 3.415, and then the maximum value is going to be 3.425. So C has to be less than or equal to, and 3.415 and 3.425. All right, that brings us to the end of the paper. So I'll bring up the same question level analysis from the original paper. So that's going to that will give us a good direction. Okay, so this is the question level analysis from the original paper, not from the shadow version. And if you've watched the first video, it's slightly more accurate in terms of the grade boundaries, because obviously those questions that I've written haven't been previously sat by students, but the rough grade boundaries for those are in that box at the top. Again, like with the previous paper, if there's a particular question that you struggled with, the chapter index for this video will be linked to the topics, but those are the topics anyway. So that's where I would put a little bit of a final revision if you're unsure. I hope you found the video useful. Obviously really close to the exam now. I wish you the best of luck with that. Hopefully you'll be able to smash it. Subscribe if you like, and you'll get notifications as soon as any of my paper 2 and paper 3 revision materials go live. Thank you very much for your time in watching the video, and I will see you soon.